honest, for mga ordinary bills, diba, Mr. President, yung mga committee report, ina-upload natin. The third reading version, ina-upload natin. But surprisingly, in the budget, we don't upload the third reading report as well as the committee report. So there's no way to track the changes. So in other words, Mr. President, when we were analyzing the situation, just to avoid complexity in terms of tracking down the documents, we will now upload the committee report. And doon sa committee report, nandun na lahat, Mr. President.
But
all the final changes
we won't be
there.
able to identify the proponent of the amendment. Unlike in an ordinary measure or bill that we tackle, everything is recorded. Everything is tackled on the floor, including individual amendments. Kasi nandyan, may minutes tayo. Ang problema sa budget deliberation, nag-iisang measure, pinaka-importanting measure, maski wala na tayo maipasang batas, ito, must pass talaga ito. Ang problema, hindi nga transparent. Kaya na-embolden yung mga ibang, congressmen or even senators na magsingit ng kung ano. Anyway, hindi naman matry sa akin yan eh. That's my concern, Mr. President.
Yeah, I get
if we want to be transparent, let's be fully transparent.
I get the, I acknowledge that Senator Ping has been tracking down the budget
Ang
for a
hirap
very
po
long
maghanap
time.
pagka nagre-review, pagka by budget deliberation. Hirap na hirap po kami ng staff namin. Pag naghahanap ako sa yung previous year's budget, napakahirap. Pero kung merong record ako, kung kanina nanggaling yung amendment, mas madali ho maghanap.
Yeah. Well, Mr. President, I am thinking kasi of the entire budget process. And I'm anticipating, for example, one of the vice chairmen will recommend. And nakikita ko kasi minsan ang recommendation, kadalasan ng recommendation pataas eh, hindi ho pababa.
Never mind. As long as we identify the proponent, then that's fine with me.
So the complication that we see based on my consultation is how do we attribute the amendment, the specific amendment, if there are other amendments that will happen to enforce or to operationalize that amendment.
Then let's track them, Mr. President.
Yung pagkuha ng pondo.
Kung ilan yung nag-amend sa amendment at inamend yung amendment, at least we can backtrack.
I get the point of Mr. President. It's just
It's not really difficult, Mr. President. If we want to do it, it's not really difficult. Because if we upload all the amendments, even amendments to the amendments to the amendments, hindi mahirap i-upload yun, Mr. President.
Yeah,
Especially written amendments, hindi yung amendments on the floor.
I get the point of
Thank you.
It's good.
Thank you, Mr. President.
It's just when we were discussing it, actually we talked about that, to be honest about it, Mr. President. It's just
Tutulong pa ako, Mr. President.
how you
Kung paano natin gagawin.
how you track down the amendments. Kasi minsan isang amendment ko may dalawang modification, tatlong modification. That's the complication that I see, Mr. President.
At least we can backtrack and identify kung sino yung nag-modify. Sabi ko nga, amendment to the amendments, and that's allowed.
Yes, correct, Mr. President.
So why can't we upload everything?
Sometimes the chairman, in this case, the chairman will also amend that amendment.
And then,
Mr.
so
President.
be it. Let's identify that the chairman also amended the amendment.
Well, take note of the proposal. Well, starting, Mr. President, it's just how to operationalize it. That's yun ang naging naging.
So it seems that it is not acceptable because sa period of individual amendments, mukhang isa yan sa mga i-introduce ka amendment. Kung ngayon pa lang rejected na, baka
Hindi naman, Mr. President. It's just how I'm thinking ahead how to operationalize that, Mr. President.
Let's work on it, Mr.
Yes,
President.
Mr. President. I'll be more than happy to work with His Honor, Mr. President.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. The gentleman from San Juan and Zambales.
Thank you, Senator Lacson. Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, next to interpolate is the distinguished lady from Ilocos Norte, Senator Amy Marcos. I move that she be recognized, Mr. President.
Senator Amy Marcos recognized to interpolate.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. President, Majority Leader. And if the good sponsor, Senator Gatchalian, will allow, a few observations, please.
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. President, I would like to point out that in the last page of the concurrent resolution, page 4, specifically number 3 of the operative clause, it mentions that the Senate shall upload number 3, A, B, C, and I'd like to highlight D, GAB passed on third reading by the Senate. Just to point out and make it very clear, we are only approving here in the Senate the amendments to the General Appropriations Bill. We are the approving body, but we receive it from the House of Representatives, which actually prepares the GAB. The role of the Senate, therefore, is to propose and approve amendments to the GAB, not the original GAB. I just want to be very careful so as not to mislead or confuse the public as to the role of this chamber versus the other chamber. So that perhaps if there is room for amendment, a more precise language would be in number 3A, D, line 26, page 4, instead of GAB passed on third reading by the Senate, it should read amendments to the GAB as approved by the Senate on third reading.
Yes, Mr.
I
President.
propose.
Yes, Mr. President, we acknowledge that the language might not be the accurate language to reflect the approval of the Senate, that the Senate is only approving the amendments to the GAB, Mr. President. So we acknowledge that, and at the proper time, Mr. President, we would welcome Her Honor's amendments, Mr. President.
Yes, thank you. There being no further amendments from my part or interpellations, I would also like to lend my concurrence and wholehearted support behind this initiative and concurrent resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Marcos, Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, last to interpolate is Senator Rodante Marcoleta. I move that he be recognized.
Senator Marcoleta is recognized to interpolate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I hope my friend is still able to accommodate a few questions.
Yes, Mr. President, to my idol, my campaign partner in last 2022.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am one of the supporters of this concurrent resolution, Mr. President. But my only concern are the practical issues that might all be the concern of our people. Like when we say public access or public participation, how much can we give to our people? Because we might not be able to manage people's expectation. There's so many information that we have itemized in these concurrent resolutions. We have not yet, for example, enacted this freedom of information bill. And of course, there is a twin bill in that, the right of reply. We may be raising people's expectation unnecessarily by citing the Constitution, people's right to information, especially on the transactions, the fields of transactions, and then we will put that limitation as provided by law. Mr. President, the senators are national representatives, our people. The House of Representatives is comprised of more than 300 district representatives and party list. They too are elected representatives of our people. In this concurrent resolution, we are admitting, although impliedly, that our mandate of safeguarding the people's money needs people's participation. Parang hindi kompleto. Ba't kailangan maraming tulungan kayo? You were there, you were elected. Baka hindi po kaya baka isipin sa atin ng tao yan, Mr. President. Nandiyan na nga kayo eh. Now you are making a concurrent resolution. It is as if that you cannot do your job fully, hindi naman sa ayaw namin tulungan kayo. We are always ready to help you. The people are also interested in guarding the people's money. Pero saan ba kami talaga makakatulong sa inyo? Pagdating sa... Kasi po, ako po bilang isang naging congressman, Mr. President, may access na po ako sa information. Like... bago po ako mag-graduate sa House, ito pong pinakahuling budget, 2025 budget. Mr. President, when we were already on the first day of plenary debates, alam po ninyo, yung unang subject matter sa first day on plenary debates, ito po yung general principles. Wala pa pong agencies, Mr. President. I was about to ask some questions on the parameters set out by our national economic cluster. Hindi po ako nakapagtanong, Mr. President. A battalion of my colleagues prevented me from asking questions. So, Mr. President, kung ako po ay nandun na mismo, gusto kong magtanong man lang ng ilang tanong, hindi pa po ako nakapagtanong eh. Paano kaya po yung mga kababayan natin? How do we assure them? We wanted to give them a level of expectation, Mr. President. How do we do it? Paano natin sila pagbibigyan ng yung participation will be heard, it will be recognized, it will be vetted, kaya po ng tinatawag ni Senator Soto kanina. Interesado siya rin na talagang malaman talaga. Talaga bang madidinig? Yan po ang gusto ko itanong, Mr. President.
Well, Mr. President, in the resolution, we also required that both houses should come up with a feedback mechanism, Mr. President. Kasi nga, you're absolutely correct, His Honor, that the information will be out there. People will be encouraged to look at the different details of the of our budget, and they will do their own analysis. But they have no way of reaching out to the senators. They have no way of reaching out to their representatives. There's no way for them to send their feedbacks. So that's why in this resolution we also included a platform through their websites that people can now send their feedbacks, Mr. President. So it comes full circle. The information is there, but we also receive information. So that is the concept, Mr. President, that we are envisioning.
That will be going back to my original question, Mr. President. Kasi sasabihin sa akin nung public, ano ba yung pwede kong gawin na hindi mo pwedeng gawin? Nandiyan ka eh. Nakabantay ka nga dyan eh. Ang gusto kong malaman, sabi niya, Mr. President, yung hindi mo kayang gawin, kami nang gagawa. Yun ang exactly na gusto ko sana malaman kasi yung tao po naghihintay. Gusto rin nilang tumulong siguro, bakit naman hindi? But what are those things? What are those information that they themselves should access that we cannot do?
Well, Mr. President, like for example, meron ba tayong slide? Yung my ex-check? Can you flash it? Mr. President, I'll flash a slide, no? And when we were doing the analysis of the process, we found out that only the NEP and the GAA is publicly available through the website, Mr. President. So if you are, let's say, a budget analyst, no? You want to analyze the budget, ito, Mr. President, only the NEP and the GAA is available in the internet. All the rest of the documents in between are not available. So if you want to analyze the budget, especially the movements, it's very difficult for analysts to track the movements because those information is not available in their website. So yun yung gagawin natin available, Mr. President. That the movement in the budget, especially critical documents, will be uploaded as mandated by the two houses, Mr. President.
And each of the senators of this republic, Mr. President, is in a position to secure the assistance